True. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one last performer for you now. I'm going to welcome him to the stage. So please put your hands together and go wild for Elijah.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let me just do a little checklist here. That was Act 1. Straight. Yeah, I think that was straight all in the first act, and second act, I think that was straight again. Straight. It's been a very straight crowd tonight, let me tell you, up here on stage. So I'm here to be the token puff right at the end of the show. Bring it on. As my friend Celine Dion used to sing, you go and save the puff to last. So one thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the whole coming out process. You know, it's something that I share with my gay brothers and sisters. It's something that we all have in common, and generally what happens is that it's a pilgrimage. You know, you reach that time in your life. It's like I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to face the music. And so there I am. I'm going back to the farm. I grew up on a sheep farm, ladies and gentlemen. And so I go back to see the folks, and so I've got it all set up. I've got the moment set up, and I burst into tears. It's the most highly emotional experience, and my parents are going, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm like, "I'm gay." And my mum goes, "You're who?" Oh, Jeff, I think he's changed his name. Far out, Mum. So then there was my sister. You know, my sister, that was another classic coming out experience for me. We were, having the long lunch in the city. We'd thrown back a few bottles of bubbly, or was that Pinot Grigio? I'm not quite sure. So we've got it. I plucked up the Dutch courage and I said, "Look, Marty, I'm gay." She said, "Oh, I knew you were a puff when you mowed my lawn in the pink tutu when you were 7. And Dad knows you're a puff too." I'm like, fucking great, the biggest moment of my life. And, there she is stealing my fucking thunder, ridiculous. So back at the farm I was again, and out with Dad, and, doing a bit of drenching out in the sheep yard, and Dad comes out with the big line. He goes, what do you reckon about gay rights?" I was fucking spellbound. I was like, I think it's all right. We've got a few rights. We've got some more rights that we probably need, but, I'm sure we'll get there soon. And he goes, "Oh, that's good, son, that's good. And have you got a boyfriend?" And I said, no, not at the moment, but I am looking. And he goes, "Oh, that's great, really good." So by this point, I'm really getting pissed off over this whole coming out thing. It's like all of my friends have had these big dramatic episodes. They've been in drug and alcohol counselling, and they've written books, and all of that stuff. I get fucking nothing. I get this really supportive fucking family. I feel really ripped off. I mean, I wanted to be rejected, for God's sake. So I found myself, I suppose, having left the sheep farm, coming out, feeling absolutely fantastic about myself. Of course, the next step is to find God. Now, finding God as a gay man is it's challenging. It's a challenging thing. I went towards the Christians because I always found a man in sandals quite hot. So I fronted up to the Catholics, and apparently they already had their quota filled. So you know what to do. And of course I went towards the Jews, and it was looking good there for a minute until they found out that I had foreskin. So that was struck. No life as a Jew for me. And then of course, the obvious next thing would be to go towards the Muslims. And I just thought, well, maybe capital punishment, public stonings, and execution wasn't really high on my list. So, you know, I didn't go for it at all. So I thought, I'm going to try the Eastern approach. It's all going to be meditation and prayer flags and just that really loving, you know, North Coast kind of vibe. So, you know, I found myself, you know, going towards satsang. Does anyone here know what satsang is? Come on, where are you? There's more people that know about satsang in this audience. They're just not owning up to it. And it's a path, you know. You go and you're going there to actually, you know, get some kind of teaching from some really cool dude that knows stuff. Anyway, you getting in the zone. You know, the teaching's been had, and it's like it's time for this, you know, beautiful meditation. Feeling at one and at bliss. And suddenly, from the deep recesses of my mind, I hear, fuck, I'd kill for a pie. So I get up quietly, run to the van, get in the van, drive to Byron Bay, straight to the 23-hour bakery, fantastic place. And of course the Great Northern's shut, and you know, La La Land's closed, and so who's been in the bakery at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's a fucking scene, isn't it? My God. So there I am, just, you know, elbowing my way in. It is just a throng of sweaty, drunk, semi-naked men. Fucking great. So I get all the way to the front of the line. It took a while. It was a bit of idle chatter, you know, amongst the boys as I got to the front of the line, and I said to myself, I'll have a lamb and rosemary pie, thank you. And needless to say, I didn't have to pay for the sauce. Thank you. Good night.
Keep it going for Elijah.